Recently I did a news update about Pico's HO models being released this month. In that video I showed 7 photos of real locomotives because we hadn't yet got photos of the actual models. Well, Piko have updated that now with actual photos of the models, so in this video we'll go through those and you'll see the actual model versions. Also, I totally missed a model that's been released this month as well, so let's start with that. And it's this, the DB-BR03462 steam locomotive from Epoch 3. This has been released in Pico's expert range and really is an impressive model in terms of detail and finesse. It features a Plux 22 interface with a pre-fitted speaker even on the DC analog version. It's got LED directional lights dependent which direction you go in, they'll be either white or red, and the DCC sound version also has switchable cab lighting and a firebox glow. You can also fit this with one of Pico's steam generators as well if you wish. A really impressive and good looking model this one. And for analog DC, expect to pay around $360 here in the UK. For DCC with sound, it's around $475. And you can also get this as an AC digital with sound version 2 at the same price. Now that is a lot of money for an HO scale locomotive, but this does look like a fantastic model, so I guess you pay for quality. Now on to the other actual model images I mentioned earlier. First we have this, the DB-BR144 electric locomotive. The detail on this is really mind-blowing. I've already reported on the prices for this, but just to remind you, it's around $240 for analog DC and around $350 for DCC with sound here in the UK. The next model was the Polish E483 in this striking livery. Yes, a model that's been out before, but this is certainly a great looking livery and you can now see just how well it's been applied to this model. Lots of refinement in the details and moulding of this model, and the logos and warning flashes are so crisp and clear, it's quite incredible. In terms of prices, it's around £170 for DC and $295 for DCC with sound fitted. Next one is another Polish locomotive in the form of the ET21 from Epoch 4. We can now see the actual model of this as well. Again, a high level of detail and the paint is absolutely flawless on this. Personally though, I don't think this is quite as good as the E483 we just saw, as some of this model does look a bit plastic, like in some of these photos, but it certainly captures the character of the original machine. Prices on this are around $235 for DC and $365 for DCC with sound. And by the way, you'll also be able to get this in the CTL Logistics livery sometime soon. I'll update you as soon as I get some more information on this one. Next, it's the Train Charter BR101 electric locomotive from Epoch 6. Very similar to the E483, this one has an impressive livery and lots of details, including added parts. However, on the promo shots I did spot a few issues on the masking when looking very close up, but there's certainly much to like about this model. For example, around the pantograph and vents, and the details around the cab ends, including those metal checker plates. Prices here are around $225 for DC and $340 for DCC with sound. We've also now got images of the EN57 EMU as well, and we now know it's a 3-car set as well. A fantastic bright livery this, it's sure to be eye-catching on your layout. All the lettering and labels are sharply printed on this model, and it's even got great looking windows with the silver metal surrounds also faithfully reproduced. Lots of extra parts added to the model such as grab handles, rear view mirrors and windscreen wipers. This all comes in at a price though, and for DC it's around £460, with DCC around the £580 mark. So next it's the Polish PKP SM31 diesel from Epoch 5. Some great details in this model, like the fan on the roof being particularly good, and the orange lining has been very well masked and applied. It's another very refined model from Piko. And this is coming in around $195 for DC and around $315 for DCC with sound. Also, you can get the SM31 in the Epoch 4 version with this model. Very similar to the last one, but just with some slight differences in the lettering and decoration, and of course the paint job, and it's priced the same as the Epoch 5 version as well. Now we're on to the Desro 2-car DMU, which we also have images of now, And I'm not so sure of the livery. Those blobs of yellow paint don't look too good in these images. That's also the same with the application of the darker grey further down the carriage too. Looks a bit disappointing with the finish on this model. However, the model itself certainly looks really good overall, but I think the paint lets this one down, which is a real shame. Perhaps other livery options will be made of this two-car set, which won't have those issues we're seeing on these photos, but we'll have to wait and see. It does look as though you get a pre-fitted driver figure though, which is cool. Again, the prices here are around $320 for the DC version and $460 for DCC with sound. I'm a bit disappointed about this one, thought it would be better than this. We also got a look at the photos of the CSD WLAB coach too. This one does look pretty good with nice crisp printing and lots of small details, including the interior. But like I mentioned before, this is a really expensive coach at around £85 here in the UK, and I'm not convinced it's worth that much money, even though it is a superb model. Finally, in the last video I showed some shots of this Nort G71 steam locomotive in Piko's hobby range. Well, we've also been given a view of a version of this locomotive in the KPEV green and red livery, which I think is a much better looking version. This is coming soon, so I'll update you when I have some more information. If those two versions aren't your choice, then you can already get it in this Polish PKP colour scheme as a BR55 TP1 from Epoch 3. I don't have prices for this in the UK at the moment, but I'd estimate it to be the same as Nort 1 at around £180 for the DC version. So great to see the actual models here and some eye-watering prices, as well as some more reasonable. Certainly no doubt that the quality is good, except this paint finish that is. Anyway, that's all for now. Let me know in the comments what you thought of these, and as always, just to wrap up, I'll say I'm not associated with or make any money from Piko to do this video. I hope you liked it though, give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe for more news updates as well as model reviews, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya!